Okay, I just want to go through a couple of tips and tricks that I like to use simply because I have found that there are some things that bother me with Microsoft Word, and I've found some workarounds. When I'm trying to set up a page with multiple columns, I like to use the table tool more than I do the columns because I can control the table easier. Sometimes it wants to take one or two words, like for instance, if I'm doing usernames and passwords, um, right here, I would come over here and get my username and password, and I've set it up to do columns, and it would allow half of the username and password card to be on one side of the column and the other half here, and then you have to do a whole bunch of pressing the enter key, stuff like that, and it drives me a little crazy. When I could go ahead and do the same thing using columns, and it's going to be a little bit more predictable as far as how it's going to move over to the next column, because I can control that it doesn't actually move over to the next column. So it's whatever your preference is, honestly, but I just don't like the fact that it cuts these things apart a little bit, and so I like to go ahead and use a table. So here's how I would create, let's say you are going to do a half-size quiz or something like that. I would go to layout and change my margins so that the margins are really small, so that I can set up my half-size quiz. And then I'd come over here and maybe put no, I would insert a table. Now in here I would go ahead and get my two tables, put the word name here, and start setting up the way I want the page to look, and then questions, anyway, one and all of that stuff. So now I'm setting up my quiz. Okay. I really don't want to see all of these boxes all the way around because it's just doesn't look nice to me. It's kind of messy. So in here, what I really want is I want to have a line that goes straight through the quiz, but no lines out here. So I would go to my borders here. Now you'll notice that when you're in here, the only time you see table tools is if you're clicked in it. If you're clicked out of it, you won't see it. So table tools comes up when you're in a table. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to borders, but when I went to tell it to do just the inside border like this, it still was giving me my outside box, which is driving me a little crazy. So I'm going to just create a custom border. So I would come down here to borders and shading, and now I can tell it specifically how I want it to be. So I would click on custom instead of box or all or anything like that, custom, and then I would unclick all the borders that I don't want. So I don't want the outside box, but I do want the line that goes down the center. I click OK. Now it's going to have a line that goes down the centers for anything that I create. So there we go. Now I've got my quiz. And I can set it up so that it fits on a half-size sheet of paper by changing font size or whatever. And there you go. So I've got two sides for my quiz. I just copy this side and put it on the other side, and I'm done. And I went ahead and copied the next column, but anyway, that's how you do that.